things, where you're focused on cutting again rather than finding a way to become better. And so I think that's a priority. Find a way to get the $25 million they need. That is important, I think, as any other spend we could possibly have. And after that, let's let the new team do what they need to do to become much better than we are today.
It's The Real Deal with Dan Reel, Corey Johnson. Dan Reel's with us as well. It's a Tuesday afternoon in the Crescent City. We're coming right back. New Orleans, don't move. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
Every every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Thanks for joining us. You're listening to The Real Deal with Dan Reel. Dan Reel joining us again. We're doing this every Tuesday. So, Dan, we're both in agreement on public education. You really made some good points. Closes the wage gap, more businesses come in, lower crime rate, gives folks hope and vision. Putting more information in your brain cannot be a bad thing. More education, quality education can't be a bad thing. Crime and public. Go ahead.
Can I expand on that?
Please.
1 minute? All right. So I'm a product of the Chicago public school system, and it was a very diverse youth that I had. And so I'm really passionate about this. And, what we did growing up was the school left the nonsense out. Instead of allowing it in and reducing the quality of the education for a few, you got rid of them, and they had to deal with consequences to go somewhere else. And that left the schoolroom available for better teachers and for a better education. And I think that's important today. If you want to get a better teacher, it's not just about pay. They need to be safe, and they need to be able to have an ability to teach. And I think sometimes the classrooms are allowed to get out of hand. And in the world we're living in now, it's tough to address that. I would err on the side of the majority and make sure that these kids are getting a chance to learn and to grow. So that's why I go back. We seem to do everything in extremes. So they talk about getting healthier food in the schools. So what do? They put alfalfa sprouts and asparagus, and that's all these kids would get. So you go from greasy pizza to food that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Just maybe put some baked chicken in and do some other things. But that's just an example, Corey. If you're trying to please everybody, you please nobody.
No, it's true. It's true. That's the problem with the Democrat Party today. Hey, crime, public safety. What a dramatic improvement that's been made the last 6 months or a year. We went from one of the most violent cities in the world, Dan, to kind of having, I don't want to say we're some, utopia now, but we've got kind of violent crime sort of under control. And we've got a good, plan in place to keep it that way.
Yeah, I would say that, tip the hat to the state on this as well, and to the city. And what I would say to the city is, being a business person for as long as I was, the reason I was able to stay in a leadership role is because when you figure out that you don't try to turn everything that's red to green and you focus on making the green greener, you become better. And what I mean by that is, while crime is down, now is the time to raise the police force, have the standards be higher, and make sure that you're getting back up to that 1,400 count from the 900, because it's not always a given that it's going to stay like this. It has to be proactive. And so instead of thinking that we're in a good shape and things are good and we're going to always be in this situation, I look at it the opposite way. I think now is the time to be able to build up your workforce, plan a succession plan for the commissioner, and just make sure that you don't take it for granted right now and wait until things turn to try to become a better force.
I think in the gaming industry, they call it doubling down.
Exactly. Unfortunately, in business, sometimes you take your eye off if things are going well.
Yeah. No.
Violent crime will never not be an issue in a major city. So while things are good, double down.
No, New Orleans is infamous for, letting our eye off the ball or accepting something and moving on. But no, the crime going down has been incredible. You're so right. Keep increasing the NOPD. It's amazing. Troop N isn't even fully staffed. I think they're supposed to have 50 total troopers eventually, and they maybe are like halfway there. So wait till they get that fully staffed as well, because they've got some, I don't want to say skills. It's more less restrictions where they can pursue folks like in a car chase and that kind of thing. And no one wants a car chase, Dan, but you can't just let the criminals run away knowing they're not going to pursue us via car chase.
Yeah, and the visibility is an important piece as well. That definitely factors in. if we're not including the troop N and you have a problem with 4-hour waits if there's a car accident and other things, again, we talk ripple effect. If you do it right at the top, you have a pretty good chance of sustaining success. And I think that goes with crime and public safety as well. And the other thing I would stress right now is also take advantage of continuing to grow the quality of the community policing. So go into these areas while things are good and get to know the leaders of the streets and the areas around there, and make sure that you're growing a legitimate partnership so that there's, trust. Because if you don't have trust, you're never going to have quality policing. And now is the time I'd be in the areas that are usually the toughest and making sure that we're reaching out.
It's mind-blowing to me, Dan. As we move on, you mentioned infrastructure. That's one of mine as well, obviously. What blows me away is from Nagin to Landrew to LaToya Cantrell. You've got literally billions of dollars in free money from the feds. I mean, arguably like a scam, like the submerged roads. Those roads sucked before they went underwater. So we're getting all this free money, can redo all these streets. You think you'd just be so focused, so organized, spending every penny of it as quickly as possible, employing thousands of people and redoing streets. Instead, it's really poorly managed. And this is the thing that just blew me away. Like 6 months ago, the city announces they're hiring this Boston firm to handle all the road projects. There's so many, they're going to organize it. They're going to get it rolling right. And it's going to be exciting. We're going to get these projects done. About 2 months later, we have an $800 million shortfall for these road projects. The city of New Orleans blows me away. Had it all in place, all the money, and we dropped the ball, and it's not getting done. It's crazy.
No, it's brutal. It's about leadership. And that's why I hope the next administration will focus on, just making sure you're visible, you care about what's really happening in your city, and that you do pay attention. But there's no excuse for the infrastructure shortfall. I know this is a tough city to manage with the way that the climate is and the way that, where we're positioned. But there's no reason that we're not doing better. And to me, I think one of the big problems of the city is we worry too much about who would get rich versus what it really would do. And so I mentioned to you for 2 decades, we put up with headaches about, we're a Vegas company and what are you doing here? And, you should pay more money. You shouldn't have a hotel. You know what, Corey, in the end, if you don't worry about that and just make sure that it doesn't get out of control and the deal is fair, what happens is what happened at the casino, which is there are now 2,000 people who are making a very good living, who have benefits, who, their lives are better. That's indisputable. And the reason is because we stayed away from the politics. We just focused on building something good. And that's the same thing with the infrastructure. Get the job done. Don't worry about who gets first, because you do that, nobody goes. And that's what we're watching. That's your frustration. And so it's evident everywhere you look, and it's got to stop. I would do a couple things real quick. I don't know if we're coming up on a break.
No, you're good.
I'll be quick on this.
You're good.
Okay. So what I would say is I would do some simple things as well, because the community, when they don't see it, assumes things aren't getting done. I'd put a GPS on every truck that's replacing the lights. I'd put a GPS on every garbage truck. I'd put a GPS on everybody that's filling potholes. And on Channel 6, when they're not showing a city council meeting, or on your computer on an app, you can see where these trucks are, and work is getting done, and accountability could be added. We're not looking at it trying to catch somebody sleeping. I want to know, even though I have a pothole, 3 blocks over, somebody's fixing another pothole. It's simple sometimes. You give people an idea of what's going on. Transparency is powerful. It leads to better results.
We saw that with safety and permits, where they utilized the GPS and found out these folks weren't even at the place that they were, supposed to be. They were giving permits, and they didn't even inspect the property. They weren't physically there. So, yeah, the GPS is kind of a natural on every vehicle now. All of that should be taken into account. Everything you said, Dan, I'd even take it into some of the petty stuff like the fuel and just where these vehicles, these take-home vehicles, where they're going. Is someone going to the Mississippi Gulf Coast? They're going to Baton Rouge in the vehicle. Stay on top of all that. It's 2025. The technology's there where the city shouldn't be getting taken advantage of.
No way, and the residents would feel better. I believe this wholeheartedly.
Of course,
you knew you couldn't get your light changed out front of your in front of your house. Again, at least if you could go on your app and see that others are getting lights changed. You know, they're focused at night on the interstate, and so all it does is make sure that you don't let rumors or false narratives get out there, and you know, then you turn the citizens and the residents into supporters because they see that you're getting work done. Right now, and especially with this administration, I don't even know if anybody's in the office. So, you know,
exactly.
It just has to change.
Yep. No, transparency is the key, like you said. Yeah, 1 out of 5 days, this mayor is living up to her nickname, Junket Cantrell, out and about. Hey, Dan, I'm going to knock out a quick break. We'll come back to this topic maybe next week because I'd like your take on like clean city retention ponds and water features and investing in UNO. I mean, my God, how UNO is not like a 40, 50,000 enrollment school. And also our coast. We're like the, you know, population center for coastal erosion, and no one talks about it locally, not even statewide really too much, which is kind of crazy and sad. When we come back, Dan, we'll shift gears to this post-Katrina stuff, specifically maybe public education post-Katrina and what the storm did, and public housing as well. It's The Real Deal with Dan Real, Corey Johnson.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Tuesday afternoon, 4 o'clock hour, The Real Deal with Dan Real. Dan is the former regional Caesars president, so more than just the New Orleans property. Hey, Dan, I'm not a big fan of reliving this stuff, Katrina and all that. I don't watch 9/11, planes hitting the towers. I don't watch December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese are attacking Pearl Harbor. We've seen it all. We've seen it many times. I don't need to relive it, so I avoid it. But Channel 6, Fox 8, they're kind of doing, 20 years post-Katrina stuff, building up to August, I guess. It's going to be a fun summer, mayoral election, and a lot of Katrina crap. Anyway, there's some silver linings. And I would say public education was one of them. I remember pre-Katrina, man, there was, janitors working 9 days a week, 40 days a month, 500 days a year, earning 70, 80 grand, janitors. Schools that were just broken, dilapidated, dead people receiving checks, teachers that didn't want to teach, just a totally broken system, one of the worst public school systems in America, year in, year out, decade in, decade out. And I think that's a silver lining from Katrina. Circumventing civil service, eliminating, 9,000 Orleans Parish public school employees. And then when things got resettled, Dan, the people that were real teachers, real principals, real coaches, real janitors, bus drivers, that's their vocation, the kids, they're back in it. And then a bunch of new people came in. So the school system went from totally crappy to sort of viable. It's got a long way to go, though. What do you think?
Well, in due respect, I wasn't here at the time, and I've done my homework. And I've also, although I've lived here 15 years, I also know, I'm never going to be a true New Orleanian. But I do pay a lot of attention to this. And yeah, it is on the news. You brought up getting better with the schools, no doubt about it. I saw a stat the other day that Orleans Parish has 44% of the residents have a college degree. Across the country, that's only 36%. So obviously some good things are going on. I have some confidence in this new leadership that's coming in, that they're going to try to do their best. I hope that they get a chance to get some of that money that they need so they can get on track and not worry about that at all times. But you're right, Corey, if you pay attention to doing things right, and unfortunately, that was an awful reason why things had to be reset, but they were, and what you saw was politics got out of the way and things got done. And that's what needs to happen again. If you want a great school system, again, you worry about the majority, not the small few amount of people that stand in your way.
Hey, Dan, they haven't actually talked too much about the school system, but Fox 8 right now has 20 years after Katrina, residents reflect on the rise and fall of New Orleans public housing. I was obviously all for this. A lot of folks. I remember I had on what's her name, Maxine Waters, on my show,
yeah.
and I asked her about why she wanted to keep these projects, and what my ending line was, Maxine, no offense, you with your Louis Vuitton purse could not walk from one end of the other of the St. Bernard housing project without getting robbed. And, we ended the conversation with that. I'll never forget that. But they tore the big four down. They rebuilt them. I'll tell you one thing, Dan, I was skeptical of the rebuild. Like, this looks like shoddy construction. Now it's 20 years later, man. I drive down like LaSalle by Washington. I'm like, it looks impressive. Fisher on the West Bank looks impressive. Harmony Oaks over by the river looks impressive. I mean, 20 years later, these things are still standing and looking pretty good. And it's totally changed the dynamic of the neighborhood.
No doubt. And if you look back, you see people were chaining themselves to the projects, trying to
Crazy.
stop it. It goes back to my point of, there are people that do that. If you let that get in the way of doing the rebuild, that lets you know that you're not paying attention. If you're a city councilman or woman and you're sitting there and there's 80 people in the council meeting, that's not the voice of the 360,000 New Orleanians. You listen to them, you pay them respect, but you do what's right for the city. And that's what they did by tearing down the projects. And I can tell you, we did the same thing in Chicago. You probably heard of Cabrini Green. That was a national news story about how those projects just were awful. So it's not easy. You have to find a way to not just leave people to be homeless. But I'll tell you what, look at the results. Those 300 homes are there. They have beautiful landscaping.
Yep.
And if you watch the piece, the residents are all very proud and happy that happened. So do what's right, and you'll see everyone will rise to the occasion. If you don't do it, you're going to get what you always had. So that's my take on that, Corey. I believe just look at the happiness in the faces of the individuals, look at the results from that area. And the other thing is you got to make sure that you do pay attention to the rest of the housing that you need to get. But ownership it's a big deal. You go from being in a little 8x8 box run by the city, and now you have a home that's your own. All of a sudden, that grass matters, and you just see it happen everywhere in the world. You give people a chance at ownership, and there's all of a sudden a trigger that goes off. And so that's what I look at of what happened. And you brought up a good point about the evolution of it, but shoddy housing, that was not Make It Right Foundation.
Yeah, that
was.
Yes.
But those homes were a disaster. But these homes are what we need in this city, more and more of that. Green space, owners, pride, opportunity. It all comes hand in hand.
No doubt. And the city did it right. At least the movers and shakers, they got the people that live in those projects involved. They made them stakeholders in the changes. They listened to them. They implemented what they were saying. It was the smart move. It wasn't like some powers that be just taking control. They got the folks that lived in the projects involved in the change, and that was key. Hey, Dan, that hour flew by. I'll see you next Tuesday with a whole slew of more topics.
You got it, my friend.
That's The Real Deal with Dan Real, joining us every Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow is next. Sandy Rosenthal from levees.org is going to join us next. Don't move. Blue Boy says stick around for the 5 o'clock powwow. Good boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Oh yeah, here we go. A Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. 5 o'clock hour is upon us. little windy out there. More than breezy. About 80 degrees. Maybe some rain tonight. Looks like more overnight tomorrow morning. But you know where we are, right? Rayville. I-10 corridor, rainiest part of the United States, right here. Hey, it is New Orleans Giving Day. Today, New Orleans Giving Day. Give to your favorite charity or charities, plural. St. Michael's Special School's a good one if you're looking for something to give to. I've got a fundraiser going on right now. We do it every May. It's our Humane May fundraiser, where we try to raise $10,000 in the month of May for the Humane Society of Louisiana. Jeff Dorson and his crew do a fantastic job saving cats and dogs and kittens and puppies, horses and goats. It's endless. It never stops. And because Louisiana, we're not the best state when it comes to the humane treatment of animals. So idiots fighting dogs and cockfighting going on. It's pathetic. Humane May fundraiser. We're trying to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. Let's hit that goal. Go to the website right now, humanela.org. That's the Humane Society of Louisiana's website. You'll see me laying, little banner at the top, me laying on the sofa with Blue Boy. Click on that and donate, and please donate generously. humanela.org. Yeah, it's New Orleans Giving Day today. Folks giving to their favorite charities. Millions and millions and millions of dollars being raised today for charities and nonprofits in New Orleans. I got a good one for you, humanela.org. humanela.org. Let's save some cats and dogs. And St. Michael's Special School, I've always given to them. They're great. Like giving back to them. Hey, can you believe Mother's Day is this Sunday? Mother's Day is this Sunday. Woodhouse Day Spa, guys. Problem solved. What am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? You get her a day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Is she going to like it? She's going to love it. It's what she wants. Problem solved, guys. 5 area locations. Carrollton by Canal Street in Mid-City. Or let me say that the other way. Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental, West Esplanade. They're right off the East Causeway approach in Mandeville, across the street from Mandeville City Hall, not far from Trey Yanner, Gallagher's 527. They're in Slidell, about 90 seconds off the Gauze I-10 exit. They're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. You can go online, woodhousespas.com. Print your own gift certificate. I recommend going to one of the locations and get a little goodie bag and grab some stuff out of that lobby foyer area for her, like bath salts, candles, moisturizer, stuff like that. We're not good at this stuff. The Woodhouse is great at it, and it's something she wants. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Make it a Woodhouse Day Spa, day of relaxation for her. Lawmakers considering a bill that would eliminate compensation for wrongly convicted folks. Could you imagine being wrongly convicted and having to go to jail for years, even decades, and you're totally innocent? DNA proves it, and you get released. Now there's legislation where these people wouldn't be compensated. It's mind-blowing. Why would you not want to compensate these people? We're not talking about thousands and thousands of people every year. We're talking about just a few. Why would you not want to compensate them? I don't get it. Liz Murrill, the Attorney General, state of Louisiana, says taxpayers in North Louisiana shouldn't have to pay for the wrongful conviction of a local elected official in South Louisiana or vice versa. This current system has misaligned the responsibility and put it on the backs of the taxpayers all over the state for the conduct of some individual elected official. We're working closely with lawmakers and stakeholders as the bill moves its way through the legislature. That's just insane. What's it have to? It's all Louisiana. It doesn't matter if it's Metairie or Shreveport. So if someone in Shreveport is wrongly convicted and let out, I'm supposed to worry about my taxpayer money going to compensate him because he's from Shreveport? It's ridiculous. Has nothing to do with that. The system misaligns the responsibility and puts it on the backs of the taxpayers. Yeah, it's called a state being responsible. We have a system set up. It wrongly puts someone in jail. They're there for years, even decades. They get out. Finally, they get no monetary compensation. That's insane. Sorry, I mean, shouldn't put on the back of the taxpayers. How many people are we talking about? This is crazy. This is like, hey, prisoners that want to transgender over and want a sex change operation, the state should pay for it. How many examples of this? Crazy. No, it's silly. Could you imagine going to jail wrongfully convicted? That's the least the state can do, is monetarily compensate you. I mean, you'd have to be a real numbskull. Yeah, I spent 40 years in jail. I got a few $100,000, $1 million, whatever, and it's worth it for me. I'd be like, I'll give the $1 million back in a second to get my 40 years back. Are you kidding? A Brazilian company might be coming to Avondale shipyards, thinking of investing at Avondale. We'll talk to Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. this Friday and ask him about that. The Supreme Court allows the Trump ban on transgender troops to take effect. I just don't understand this. And the point about there are two sexes, male and female, and that's it, that really doesn't apply. You might as well say there's spaghetti and meatballs as a special at the diner today. What does two sexes have to do with someone transitioning over? Nothing. We know they're biologically male or female. Anyway, so isn't that just sort of living in denial? Like there's male and female and that's it. It's like God had Jack and Jill, or, Adam and Eve. It wasn't Adam and Steve. I mean, that's just so yesteryear. Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I mean, if that makes you feel better because I don't want to be around those people, I want to deal with them, well, then live your life that way. But why would you want something like that to be part of America, like restricting that, people's freedom? Care if someone's gay or straight? What's wrong with you? You're living like in the 40s. And now there's a whole new generation that are this transgender thing. I can't wrap my brain around it. It's not easy. It's not maybe comfortable. It doesn't fall into like the normal, husband, wife, children category. I guess homosexuality doesn't fall into the normal, the majority. Well, what does that matter? Who cares what the majority's doing? So no, I mean, you think Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner's doing that for attention, or guy feels like he's a woman mentally, physically a man, wants to be a woman. Who am I to tell him what to do, or her what to do, or vice versa? Any woman that wants to be a man or a man wants to be a woman, that's their call. Yes, of course they're born male or female. That has nothing to do with it. They want to change. It's not going away. It's been here forever. It's just out in the open now, just like homosexuality. Been here from day one of mankind. Transgender from day one. It wasn't some modern idea, something new. It's been going on forever, just secretly, not in the open like it is today. You're not going to stop it. You're in denial if you think you are. And this ban, this transgender troop ban, is just... it's not permanent. And I eventually think a court will be like, why do we care if someone's transgender or not? And of course they can be in the military. Who cares? Governor Landry's power play to control the East Bank levee district has failed in the Republican-controlled legislature in Baton Rouge. Sandy Rosenthal of levees.org has to be ecstatic. She joins us next on the program. Hey, this 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon brought to you by Audubon Gutters. Get it and forget it. I'm talking about the Leaf Guard system. Drew and his crew will take care of you. Nearly 35 years, and all Audubon Gutters does is gutters. The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. They don't do windows, they don't do siding, they don't do paint, they don't do roofs. All they do are gutters. Audubon Gutters put gutters on my house back in October. I'll never have to worry about gutters probably for the rest of my life. AudubonGutters.com, AudubonGutters.com. Sandy Rosenthal, levees.org joins us next. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you, 5 o'clock Power Hour on a Tuesday afternoon. Hey, if you're on the Causeway heading to the North Shore, fire in a to-go order at Trey Inn. Curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your vehicle. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. Don't forget their Tong Cho sauce. So good. Trey Inn in Mandeville. A big, big day in Baton Rouge. Governor Landry's power play to control the East Bank levy district has failed in the Republican-controlled legislature in Baton Rouge. Sandy Rosenthal is with levies.org. She joins us on the program again. How you doing, Sandy?
I'm having a great day. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, why are you having a great day?
Well, the system worked. The legislative system actually did work today. A lot of people didn't like these changes that Governor Landry wanted to get made to the levy authority, and they spoke up and they used their voice, and it worked. The last minute, the bill that was being brought by Representative Breaux got completely watered down. It's almost unrecognizable anymore. And it actually has some good changes that I look forward to telling you about.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about the good changes. The original bill would have eliminated the independent committee that nominates board members to the East and West Bank levy districts, right?
That's correct. It does. The new bill would have taken would have obliterated the nominating committee just for the East Bank. I don't know why. I don't know what his problem is with the East Bank, but that's what it was supposed to do. And of course, the East Bank it's got all that infrastructure. We really need, a good levy board and a good nominating committee. So last minute, that got removed from the bill. And it's no other explanation for the big pushback that the legislature heard from the people in this state and most importantly, the people of New Orleans.
Essentially, a macro analysis of this would be keeping politics out of levies.
And it doesn't matter. I'm not pointing to any specific persons or people. It's in general. It's all politics. Not my politics or your politics, it's any politics. And that's what this nominating committee did. Now, I'm sure your listeners know who I am. I'm the hold the core accountable gal, the levy lady. So I haven't sold my soul. I still say, and it's the truth, that the Army Corps is the reason those levies broke. It was design and construction.
Yep.
That's why the levies broke. However, Corey, this is a big however. You know what the locals do, the local levy board, they do the maintenance. Well, if we don't have good people taking care of that maintenance, the Army Corps can come in and decertify the levies and no one can get flood insurance.
So the committee of engineers, university presidents, professionals will stay and not one that would be maybe politically charged. Is that correct?
That's right. We've got engineers, we've got the right people, but the nominating committee, they know what we need to have on this levy authority. They know, and they've been doing it for 18 years now, and I don't know, but it looks to me like it's working.
No, and the voters approved this, unanimously. Hey, what you said there were some other positives that maybe enhances it, makes things better. What would those be, Sandy?
Right. Boy, was that a surprise that this bill is even better than what we expected. One of the things that the new bill, the shorter bill, but they've added one thing, and that is levy board commissioners used to have a term limit of just 2 terms. Now they can serve 3. Well, let me tell you, I'm a big term limit believer, okay? You got to have term limits. However, in this particular case, it's actually very good because the matrix of requirement that the nominating committee has to adhere to select people is really complex, and it's hard to find good people who are willing to serve on the board. You know, they serve pro bono.
They should. That's good,
And
though.
they
No,
do.
but it is.
And they do.
It's hard to find. You got to find the right people that can do
You
that.
got to find the right people, and they got to be willing to work for free. So it's difficult. It has been difficult. And when you finally got some great people on there, if you can keep them for 3 terms, well, that takes some pressure off the nominating committee, and that's a good thing for the people of New Orleans. And that's coming from me because I'm pretty hard to please.
Any other positives?
Any other positives? Well, yes, they totally removed all talk about the nominating committee, and also here's another good thing: they removed this thing that they were going to reduce the number of people on the board from 9 to 7. Well, in my mind, Corey, whenever you reduce the number of people, that's increasing control.
That's right.
You know,
that they were going to reduce.
People means easier to control. More people means harder to control. So there you go. It's just another example of how this new bill is a better bill.
No, it was going to be from 9 to 7, and the governor appointing 4, including the chairman.
That's
so
right.
That made it 100% political instead of sort of being autonomous.
Right. So I drove up this morning all ready to testify, and I was full of fire and ready to start, doing my thing, and all of a sudden, no, we deferred the bill and we changed the bill, and it may not get passed at all. If I need to go back up there next week, I will, but they may pull it all together.
This Roy Karuba guy was like, he wanted the original bill to go through so we get better board members. What I was amazed about, Sandy, the East Bank, bad board members. The West Bank, good board members. Same committee appoints them. It's just nonsense.
In my mind, whenever they say we can't tell you why, it's because there is no reason why. And I don't know why they think we were all born yesterday.
I don't know the numbers, Sandy. Maybe you do, but I'm assuming right now that the East Bank levy district has a lot more police and vehicles than the West Bank levy district.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the police. That has been, in my mind, that has been one of the things that Landry / Guidry,
yep.
Their team.
Yes.
That's one of the things they're focused on. Do you know that police board that police team only has to work when a hurricane is coming? And you got 65 people and all their cars. For the only time they're really needed, that they have a job, is when a hurricane is coming. Okay, so that's every other year, hopefully not more than that.
Yep.
So in my mind, there's got to be a way, maybe we could partner with the state police. In my mind, there's got to be a solution for that issue. Getting rid of the nominating committee because you want to control the police doesn't make any sense to me.
That's what I think it is, so they can put the police working crime in New Orleans and not just work in the levees. You mentioned Shane Guidry. He's sort of the Elon Musk for Jeff Landry. I said this to Pat Connick, the senator, a few weeks ago. Who cares what Shane Guidry thinks? I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me. This isn't some super sharp tool in the shed, and yet he's going to, push the governor on the East Bank levy district's terrible compared to the West Bank. I mean, I'm like, what does Shane Guidry know? That kind of blew me away a little bit.
It blows me away too. And I've heard some people say, well, it isn't Landry that wants to tinker with the levy board. It's Guidry. Well, I'm sorry. It's on Landry's watch.
Yep.
You can blame Guidry, but I'm not. It comes from the top.
Speaking of not experts in their field, I'm a little skeptical on Gordon Dove. What are your thoughts?
You realize that I worked very, very hard and fought the governor a year ago when he wanted to put the CPRA underneath what some people call oil and gas.
Right.
It's actually the Department of Natural Resources,
It's insane.
DNR. And I mobilized levy.org, and we fought. And I wouldn't say it's only levees.org that succeeded in getting Landry to back down, but it was largely us, because levy.org was from the ground, the grassroots, the people of this city, of this state. Now, there was also, though, Pontchartrain Conservancy was against it, and other nonprofits were against that idea, and we worked together and we succeeded. So what my point is, that's a long answer for yes, I know who Good and Dove is.
Yeah. It reminds me of the EPA director.
I'm really familiar with the CPRA.
It reminds me of the DEQ director who just got ousted. We're about the environment and working with the business community. No. You're about the environment. You're not against the business community, but you're not pro-business. You're just about the environment. So all this mishmash and crossover, I don't like seeing that either. Sandy Rosenthal, best place for folks to check out what you do, levees.org, right?
And also, if you're interested in the either in the engineering failure education campaign or my book, it's all one website. It's sandyrosenthal.net.
sandyrosenthal.net, levees.org. Sandy, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's Sandy Rosenthal. Check it out. Sandy Rosenthal from levees.org. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, 5 o'clock power hour.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed the Real Deal with Dan Real. A slew of topics. We do that every Tuesday. And if you just missed the last segment, Sandy Rosenthal joined us from levees.org. Governor Landry's power play to control the East Bank levy district has failed in the Republican-controlled legislature. And that's a good thing. The levies, these committees, these boards that, put people, that run the levy district, you want honest, apolitical folks that are civic-minded, focused on the levy, not some political hacks. Jeff Landry, he wants to control every board. He wants to control it. He wants to be able to nominate the members and pick the chairman. I mean, even for universities, like take the autonomy and the independence away and make it very political. And the problem with these kind of things, besides the obvious, folks that are like extreme left or extreme right, they tend to lack empathy, understanding even in the least bit what the opposition thinks. And when you think like that, it's easy to get sucked into this kind of stuff. Hey, we're right, and it's working for us. Problem is, it's all cyclical. Democrats in control, it'll be Republicans one day. Republicans in control, it'll be Democrats one day. So I'd rather keep all these boards and committees apolitical, not let the inmates run the asylum. Now, the Shane Guidry thing is funny. Like Elon Musk with Donald Trump. Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. Elon Musk, like him or not, Tesla and the tunneling machine and the power panels and the SpaceX and all of this. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Like him or not. Who is Shane Guidry? Shane Guidry is just an average guy who kind of just has sort of an attitude, his dad was the guy who got indicted with Edwin Edwards with the Star Casino in Kenner. Shane took over his dad's company. What is it? Harvey Marine. And has done well with it, has increased its revenue. He had Governor Jeff Landry on the board. Governor Jeff Landry probably would not know how to get to Harvey Marine by himself without someone driving him or GPS. Yet Shane Guidry was paying Jeff Landry to be on this board for no reason, wasn't doing anything, wasn't contributing. It's like $1,500 a week. Literally. It's like 75, 80 grand a year. I'd love to be on a board. Hey, Shane Guidry, I'll take $1,500 a month to not even be on your board. Now, I'll be critical of you when I want, and that's not going to change none of that. No, I went to De La Salle. My friend who I went to De La Salle with remembers Shane Guidry at De La Salle. and just says that he was a painfully average student. This isn't some genius or some expert, or this guy really is special and knows his you know what. He knows Harvey Marine. He's built that company up. He builds a house in Old Metairie on North Line and illegally cuts down an old oak tree because he just didn't want it in front of his house. You know, I mean, that's just kind of on a power trip, big ego, thinks that, you know, people that are successful monetarily, that really did something special and made the money or just made the money. I told a buddy of mine this. They think they open a bag of chips better than you. They think their directions somewhere are better than yours. I'm rich. I've done well. You haven't done as well as me financially. I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. What I think is better than what you think. That is a sickness with some that are rich and wealthy. My dad had a cousin down in St. Bernard, Fred Segure. The St. Bernard Civic Center is named after Fred Segure. He was ridiculously successful. A big developer, Buccaneer Park, or what is it? Carolyn Park, Buccaneer Village down in Chalmette, those neighborhoods. He was a rich guy. Richer in humbleness and friends and loyalty than any dollar amount. He was like anybody else. He wanted to make money, but I've never met someone that did so well that the money didn't mean anything. He was just a regular guy, down to earth, real guy. Wonderful man. No, money makes people funny. Some people. No, I mean, who is Shane Guidry? Seriously. This is like the mayor, the governor's like number one confidant. It's almost comical. It's almost comical. I have nothing against Shane Guidry. I just don't have anything for Shane Guidry. I don't look at Shane Guidry and go, wow, that guy's special. He's a special thinker. He's a genius. He's a Midas, touches things, it just turns to gold. Shane Guidry is painfully average that walked into his father's company and built it up and made it larger. No doubt. I'm not taking that away. But Shane Guidry wasn't, in the dugout and scraped and scrapped as the trainer, and then they gave him a chance to play, and he was on the scout team, and then eventually made it to the outfield, and then he's on first base, and now he's pitching, and he's a leadoff guy, and he's hitting home runs. Shane Guidry was like born on second or third base. And that's fine. I'm just trying to explain. I have nothing against Shane Guidry. I'm happy that he has money and he has success. Happy for Shane Guidry. Good for him. But he's just painfully average. And this is like Jeff Landry's like, Elon Musk. Just kind of kooky and a little crazy. And he's behind. He's not, like I said, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Hey, the committee's got to go. Look at the East Bank Levy District and the people they put on the board. Oh, the West Bank's fine. We don't need to mess with the West Bank Levy District. It's fine. Just the East Bank. And the same committee appointed the West Bank members of the board. So how did they get the board members right on the West Bank and not the East Bank? I think the police force has something to do with it. Just a little bit. And injecting politics into levies where life and death, flooding, insurance, all of that is at risk. No, the Republican-led legislature realized everything I'm saying and said, we're not going to politicize that. Jeff Landry has taken control of dozens of boards statewide. Taking control. He appoints the majority of the members. He appoints the chairman on a bunch of these boards. It's very political now. Any board that had a glimmer of independence and autonomy is gone. But the Republican legislature said, fine with those, not the levies. No, they know where their bread's buttered. Somebody's house floods out next hurricane because of some crappy thing going on with the East Bank Levy District that Landry and Shane Guidry changed it to, they'll freak out. They won't get reelected. I'll never forget this. Jefferson Parish president's race, post-Katrina. It was Aaron Broussard versus really nice guy. What is this guy's name? Damn, I can see him right now. Used to see him at Fausto's. Nice guy. He ran. He didn't raise any money, just sort of ran. Aaron Broussard won that election. You can look it up, like 51% to 49, 50 point something to 49 point something. This other guy, whose name escapes me, could have won it. But what was interesting, how the vote went down. On the East Bank of Jefferson Parish, well, Alan Leone, what was it? Alan Leone, I think. On the East Bank of Jefferson Parish, Alan Leone got like 90% of the vote. On the West Bank of Jefferson Parish, Aaron Broussard got all the vote and edged out Alan Leone. And the vote literally fell, not on Democrat or Republican or black or white, none of that. I think both are Republicans, Leone and Broussard. It fell on who got flooded and who didn't. The people that got flooded voted for Alan Leone. The people that did not get flooded voted for the status quo, Aaron Broussard. So when the you-know-what hits the fan, people will react. When their life is adversely affected, they will react. When people got flooded out, they voted for Alan Leone. And the people that didn't stuck with the normal plan. I don't want change. I didn't flood. I'm going with Aaron Broussard. The point is, these politicians know you flood out someone's house or business for something dumb that you did, you're done as a politician. You're done as a politician. Hey, Art and Eyes on Magazine, Google them. If you wear prescription glasses like me, or you need a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine, one of the finest eyewear boutiques in America. We're blessed to have it on Magazine, and so much better than these chain stores or the mall place. Art and Eyes, this is a good thing. Name brands you've never heard of. Super high quality eyewear from Europe, Japan, the United States. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Now, I love the prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses I have. Super high quality, like lifetime purchase, literally. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock powwow. Yeah, you right. Coming right back on this Tuesday afternoon. Breezy and windy. Maybe some rain tonight, maybe rain overnight tomorrow. Supposed to be raining a lot. We'll see. Hey, Mother's Day is this Sunday. Don't forget Mom. She wants a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations, woodhousespas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Social media is having like a minor meltdown again. Once again, this Sunday, Mother's Day, there's going to be a police presence on Lakeshore Drive, like that 4-mile stretch from the Seabrook Bridge to West End. Basically, they're cracking down on, they're going to have checkpoints all up and down the street, like 8 of them. They're basically cracking down on loud music, which is too loud, tinted windows that are too dark, no license plate or brake tag, speeding, folks that are littering. I mean, where's the problem here? Seriously. And the social media blow up is like it's a race-related thing. Like it's race-related. I can tell you this from firsthand knowledge, growing up on the lakefront area right by UNO and going to like Franklin and Fillmore, like driving by, I shouldn't say Franklin and Fillmore, Franklin and Lakeshore Drive, and driving by Lakeshore Drive and seeing that area right on the other side of the levee from UNO and the arena, just trash everywhere, crawfish piled up in the grass, garbage just everywhere, all over the place. Insane. Like I'd say, like a bunch of animals, but I don't want to insult my dog or cat, and animals. No, it ain't about race, because in my lifetime, growing up by UNO, I'd see white folks, black folks, Latino, mixed, and a lot of folks leaving litter and trash during certain situations. Not all the time, but definitely different races of people. New Orleans is a filthy city. Jefferson Parish is a kind of filthy suburb compared to other suburbs. You folks that want to compare Jefferson to New Orleans, you're delusional. You're comparing apples to anvils, apples to cinder blocks. New Orleans is the city center, urban, suburban, Jefferson Parish, the exurbs, St. Tammany, When you compare apples to apples, New Orleans inner city to other inner cities, filthy. Jefferson Parish suburb to other suburbs like Buckhead or Sandy Springs in Atlanta. Are you serious? You're going to tell me Jefferson Parish is clean like Sandy Springs or Buckhead in Atlanta? And you North Shore folks better sit down. The North Shore, Mandeville, Covington, as clean as like Las Colinas outside of Dallas, that exurb, please. Please. We have a problem. Black, white, old, young, rich, poor, affluent, educated, uneducated, fat, skinny, tall, short, gay, straight, whatever. I shouldn't even include gay folks. And honestly, you can say this is racist or whatever you want, sexist, whatever. Gay folks, Latinos, and Asians, like the Vietnamese community, I don't see them littering like I see black and white people. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with Latinos and Asians and the gay community. I don't know if someone's gay or not. Let's just overt and rainbow flag. But I see a lot of black and white people littering all the time. Old, young, like grandma. People in a Mercedes just throwing their crap out of their car. They don't want it. I mean, drive-through restaurant, throwing it in the parking lot, throwing it out on the street. It's beyond obnoxious. It's classless. It's selfish. It's pathetic. No, we're a filthy city. Jefferson's a filthy suburb. North Shore even a little dirty compared to like other exurbs around America. And that's because the people don't give a crap. There needs to be repercussions for people that litter. It's sickening. It's so disheartening. And you cigarette smokers are the worst. You just justified, hey, all the other cigarette smokers do it. It's just a little cigarette butt. It's the number one litter item in America, cigarette butts. Number one. Not plastic bags, not aluminum cans, not paper items, cigarette butts. I got a friend who smokes. He carries around a water bottle, sticks the cigarette in the water bottle, doesn't throw it on the ground, doesn't litter. No, I have no problem with patrols on Lakeshore Drive enforcing speeding, loud music, tinted glass, no license plate, trash, littering. They need patrols in City Park and at the Butterfly and wherever else the public in Orleans or Jefferson Parish would go. People, you Jefferson Parish folks, I'm at Lakeside. Drive through Lakeside's parking lot right now. Drive through the big parking lot out on Causeway or drive through the one in the back by Severn with the double-decker. Go drive up the ramp to the second level. There's trash and litter all over the place. People just empty it out of their cars. Yeah, in Jefferson Parish. Just crazy. No, so enforcing litter and tint being too dark and loud music from the car or no license plate or speeding or any of that on Lakeshore Drive for this Mother's Day Sunday, I have no problem with that at all. And you social media freaks that think it's racist, that it's racially motivated, you're insane. I mean, you're like saying like white people don't litter? Crazy. No, it's a sickness. It's a sickness. We don't have to be the filthiest city. We just accept it. And New Orleans, Jefferson, St. Tammany, I'm sure we could use better sanitation departments, but it's the citizens doing the littering. Period. End of story. Just be aware of it. I mean, that's what I do. I'm kind of aware of my surroundings. Just kind of proactively look for like the next 2 or 3 days. What's Corey talking about? Let me keep an eye out at the stoplight, at cars, what they're doing, at the bus stop, people on the sidewalk, someone that comes out of a store with a wrapper or package, cigarette smoker, the cellophane on the ground, the little tin foil thing on the ground. What's that, Blue Boy? I may only be a basset hound, but you're not supposed to litter. It's very selfish. Throw it in a garbage can. Blue Boy, that's great advice. You should run for mayor, buddy. You have great takes. What else? Thank the listening and viewing audience, of course. See you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Wide Open Wednesday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.